Hey guys, Andy with Rooted Arbors, and today I wanted to give you a quick overview of our crew loadout. So people ask us constantly, what does it look like to outfit a tree crew, at least the way we do work? So I figured we'd take the time today on this crappy weather day to give you a tour. So excuse the mess of our truck. This is a 2001 F450 with a 7.3 that we rebuilt. We bought this truck as a junker. Some of you still might think it's junk, but we made this thing sexy. We pimped this thing out. This is our go-to. Built this custom flatbed for it, and let me give you a quick tour of this. So these boxes here are belly boxes for big trucks. This is where we keep all of our extra climb ropes, some extra rig ropes, some throw lines. We got some Milwaukee pruners, wedge bag. It's our pine tree short hank. The super hog for a GRCS, the must have. Back here we have a rope jack. We don't use that as much anymore, but it's really handy when you need it. Like I said, front rope or throw line, we really like that kit. We always carry some Yale XTC dry crotch lines for lightweight rigging or for a secondary tag line. We have some 8-0 rope in here, some Teufelberger rope. We have the Dreyer ecstatic rope here. But those are just the extra ropes we keep on. Most climbers have their own in their kit. This is our standard tool kit that we always have with us just in case of emergency. Nothing crazy. We have a half torque or mid torque. That's for changing a tire, trailer tongue, things like that. Some sockets. We have some wrenches, things like that, rope cutters, screwdrivers, nothing crazy. Up here we have a bunch of unratcheting wrenches. Stuff that you never know if you need, if we have to take apart a fence or do a little on-site maintenance. In this tote here we have an MX charger for our Milwaukee blower and a couple extra MX batteries. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the MX line. It's like their large commercial line. The blower's pretty sick. We'll get a video on that here pretty soon. But that's what's in there. Getting some more tools. So we have a standard Milwaukee socket set with some really cool flat sockets. That way they don't roll away. But you never know when you're gonna need to fix some stuff. Below here, we have our impact sockets for that mid torque. So nothing crazy, just stuff we use often. You never know when you're gonna need tools. Right here we have our extra chain box. So we have usually 3 spare chains for all of our saws, no matter what. So everything from 36-inch down to a 12, even some for our little hatchets that we use, Milwaukee hatchets. But yeah, it's so vital to have this on your truck. I think it's a total waste of time if you have typically your higher paid guys out there sharpening chains on a job site. If you gotta touch one up, that's one thing, but throw that old chain in the truck, get the new chain on, and don't mess with it. So major time save, everybody should have one of these. Milwaukee just sent us this new kit. I haven't played with it yet because I don't sharpen. I'm kind of going against what I just said. But Thomas and some of the boys, they like to touch up some chains. So this just came in, haven't used it yet, but pretty neat. The fact that it's PACKOUT is pretty cool. We're big fans of Milwaukee PACKOUT. It's waterproof, it's tough as hell. Okay, if you're wondering what these corresponding dots are and all this stuff, this is our white crew, we have a yellow crew, and we have a blue crew. That's just so if anybody loses stuff, we know whose is who. So back to the back of the flatbed, we have a 9/16 rig rope. This is a 200-foot line on the Teufelberger bag. Really, really tough. We were actually given this at Expo for a demo, but it's some Sterling rig line, 1/2 inch, pretty good stuff. Bag is kind of cool, not very tough, but we're using it for now. Here's the MX blower we discussed. Really, really cool blower, lightweight, but a lot of power, and it's actually more affordable to use than like the M18 equivalent. More power, lighter weight, and more cost effective to run because you don't need 8 12 amp hour M18 batteries to have it on a constant cycle. When we really need to push a lot, we're still running the Echo 90cc gas blower. That's just the best gas blower in the market. They're so powerful, they're lightweight, but like any gas blowers, they're really, really, really inefficient and loud. Here's my climb box here. This is my saddle, everything like that's in there. Here's my accessory doodads. A bunch of different climb kit stuff. We'll do a full video on this later. I'll show you what I'm carrying. I don't need all this to carry. I just like to have it. It's my safety blanket. Here's my actual climb box. So FTC throw line stack, the new Petzl Sequoia Plus that's getting ready to come out. That thing is awesome. Lanyards, I got my spikes, all kinds of stuff. Again, we'll touch on that at a later date to go over a more comprehensive dive of my daily kit. But for now, we'll stick to the crew. Just so you know, this is called the Milwaukee coffin box. So It's the biggest one of their PACKOUT kits. I use it, but most of the guys like Jason, who's actually filming, he's gonna use PACKOUT tower right here. So most of the guys have their spikes and their saddle on the bottom one, and the top one they'll have their handsaw. Jason's terrified of poison ivy, so he's got a poison ivy kit ready to go. Yeah, but he's got all of his extra stuff, his throw lines, his tools. This is a really, really efficient way to move guys' climb kits, keeps it all dry. Back behind it, this is where we really get into the cool stuff. So this is our rig box. So crew one's got a little bit different loadout than the yellow crew. And that's just because the size of the work that we typically do. So in here we have a larger block on a 3/4 inch 10X sling. So that's our big boy. We have a larger block, we just rarely use it. Like on this truck, you don't see a 3/4 inch rope. We only bring that out as needed. It's in the Connex. This is our everyday sling. You've seen in a lot of our stuff. This is the Omni 2.5 swivel block. This thing's absolutely amazing. So every crew has one of these. This crew actually has two. This thing is just the ticket. Especially if you're doing span rig systems or anything where you have a lot of rope, having that built-in swivel just makes the life so much easier. We have an old school porter wrap with a really long sling. We almost never use this because we hate porter wraps, but if we need a secondary tie down, or if we're setting a retrievable rigging system and we want to lock it off with this, we'll employ that. Some smaller blocks, these are the CMI 1/2 inch blocks on the 1/2 inch ultra sling. We love these. We use these instead of pulleys just because they're bulletproof. They're not quite as efficient, but it's way better than using rings. Speaking of rings, we do have a ring here. The most use this gets, honestly, is when we're putting it directly above a GRCS if we have a multi-stem tree and we want that rope to go directly into the top of the GRCS. But as a standalone rigging tool, we rarely use it. It hockles ropes too much. They are tough, they're pretty cheap, but we rarely use it for anything other than a redirect into our GRCS. Here is the Rock Exotica downrigger. Pretty cool device. We haven't used it enough to have a really firm opinion. If you're like a 2-man crew and you're doing like large scale pruning where the climber wants to self-rope or self-rig, that way the groundsman can land it, it's a pretty cool setup, but we don't use it a ton, not as much as it probably deserves. These are just some Dyneema spider legs. If we're trying to do essentially a crane pick without a crane, and we want to keep it in the air, keep it balanced, we'll use those. Here's another small arborist block. This is an ISC block. Really, really like these. We just retired the sling it was on, so the new ones actually be here, I believe, tomorrow from Tree Stuff. Cool little block, similar size to the CMI. This is a little bit more efficient, but I think this guy's tougher. This exposed spring is something you got to watch out for. It's just sticking out almost an inch, so more likely to have issues with it. But it's easier on and off if you're slipping your rope or your sling on, as opposed to a traditional screw gate version. So they're both great. This one's tougher, this one's more efficient, so it depends what you're going for. But that is what crew one carries. Yellow crew carries a similar set. They just don't have this large block, and they have a couple additional smaller blocks for their system. All right, if I pull that off, this is where it gets fun. This is our GRCS. You guys are all familiar with GRCS, but it's got a ratcheting head, capstan head like you would see on a sailboat. Both crews now have one of these. We have Leonardi Friction Manager, which is also really great, but the GRCS is just so hard to beat. We are in the market though for the Holdfast, which is like that smaller GRCS clone that we demoed at TCI Expo. So check that out at ARB session. A really, really cool tool. We want one. Here's our battery charging system. So we can charge our batteries on site, but sometimes we're on a location for multiple days that might not have power. So we use this Milwaukee roll-on, which is essentially a generator. So you can charge like 12 8.0 Forge batteries from 0 to 100 on this thing. So you get a lot of charge. You can also plug in site tools, anything you might need, standard outlets. If you have a site with electric, you can plug this into that and then run all your stuff off it, just as like a smart surge protector. 6-pack rapid charger. It's not our favorite. We definitely prefer the superchargers, but they're not PACKOUT compatible just yet. So we run this usually, unless we know we need a supercharger. Every kit has 14 batteries. It's definitely overkill. You don't need that. So each one of our battery kits for each crew has 6 12.0 forges, so M18 12.0 forges, and 8 8.0 forges. Again, this is definitely overkill. You don't need this much. Rarely do we get into that kind of battery, even in the wintertime with a large removal. We only buy kits when we buy tools, so we just stockpile batteries. This box here is our fuel box. I don't have the key for it. bolts in the key ring, but we have like a 5-gallon diesel tank, diesel cans or unleaded cans, all of our extra bar oil, our mixed gas, all that stuff's in there. We have pack out here as well. We don't usually need that, but if we have something we want to click on there, we can absolutely do that. Drop a comment, and if you can give us a timestamp from the video, that'll help. But then we can point to what you want more questions on, or if you're looking for more of a deep dive, just some random Jameson poles, pruner, some silky stuff. Nothing crazy. Here's my favorite thing about this truck, and that's the 6-inch pipe layout. In these, you see us use these all the time. We have an M18 pruner, telescoping pruner, and the M18 telescoping pole saw. But yeah, these things are absolutely awesome. We have a full review on the pole saw. We can get one on the pruner if you guys are interested. All right, matching belly boxes to the other side, but saw boxes. We are battery heavy. Probably 90+% of our work is battery until we get to about 30 inches of diameter. We have 2 dual battery M18 rear handle saws, one with a 24-inch Cannon bar, one with a standard 20-inch bar that it comes with. Every crew has 2 hatchets and 2 top handles, M18 top handles. I prefer a 12-inch bar. Some of the guys prefer a 14. Over here we have our upsell machine, or M18 head trimmer. We don't sell a ton of trim jobs on their own for bushes, but we always carry it because it's the easiest $50 upsell you can get. Hit some boxwoods or a burning bush, whatever it is. We have a dual bay battery blower here. Great for street cleanup. I actually prefer the single battery one just because it's lighter. But for street cleanup, it's the ticket. A lot of the dump sites around here, you can't use a gas blower at the dump site because of the fire risk, so we use the battery blowers. Then we carry a 661 and a 500. Sometimes we'll have 2 500s depending on the site if we're into some really big wood. But you know, the longer we've been with battery, the more we dislike using gas saws, just because the noise. The emissions is one thing, it's just the noise. So that is our truck loadout. Wait till you see this shag interior. We've got some sweet blue interior in here. That's right. So we have our tire inflator, which we need to use. Looks like one of our back tires are a little flat. The new Hot Shot, this is a jump kit that you just put a regular M18 battery on. This thing is the ticket. I got a brand new Courant Kalimba, just came in yesterday, so I haven't used this yet. It's an 11.9 rope though, it's pretty. We'll see how it goes. One of the boys' helmets. Here's my helmet. We're using the Milwaukee Bolt helmet. This is just the light, the headlamp. That comes off super easy. The Milwaukee Bolt visor, love that. Look how easy it is to take off the visor. Just pull that tab, slides right off. So if you want to put the light back on, you absolutely can. Clicks right into place, easy as that. Boom. Multiple settings. We've done some night shoots, it's pretty cool. This time of year when it gets dark early, it's pretty nice to have. I also really want to talk about the comms that we have on these helmets. So this is the big thing. For safety, I think that communication systems should be in the ANZ as they should. I really believe this should be required PPE for all of those that are not working around lines. Not necessarily Husqvarna comms, but comms in general. These specific comms are our favorite we've used so far. We have 10 users, 3 different channels, mute features, ambient, just all kinds of cool stuff with these. We'll do a full review on those. Yeah, that's the Husqvarna XCOM Active. Really awesome, worth the price point. I always carry one of these, mostly because we're shooting her for our phones and because this truck's archaic and doesn't have any USBs, but this is the new Milwaukee Top Off. Throw it on one of your batteries, charge all your stuff, even charge a laptop. So we are Arbortech fans here at Rooted. So here's my new, not so new, pair of Arbortech vented chainsaw pants. These are the ones that I helped design with those guys. Huge vents, a lot of ventilation. We try to run CPs at least 9 months out of the year if possible. It's tough, but the products are getting better and better, so we wear them all the time. These are my Arbortech Scafels. I spike in these a lot. I don't really prune climb in them just because they're really heavy, but on spikes they're pretty awesome, really rigid. So this trailer, it's pretty long for a tree company. Really long deck. We have a 20-foot deck, and the reason why we had this trailer made is we wanted to put our plywood on horizontal. The reason for that is if we want to get to a site and just take off the mini skid and not the stump grinder, I can get off, I come around and pick up my plywood from the street side instead of having to download everything off the trailer, come back up into the trailer, grab the plywood, back and forth, back and forth. Now we don't have to. We just untie our mini skid, go down its corresponding ramp, get our plywood, we're good to go. We also love all the tongue storage in here. We don't really keep much in here often, but we'll put some extra dunnage, extra batteries, our ratchet strap stuff. A lot of times it becomes a trash chute, as you can see from long days. But if I didn't have all these belly boxes, this is where I'd probably have all my wet storage, all my saws. So I probably should have mentioned these. We don't really keep much in these often, just extra 2-cycle mixes, some grease. So non-sexy stuff that's essential for the job. So on this deck, we always have a bucket. This trailer has a smooth bucket because this is our stump grinding rig. The other crew's trailer has a tooth bucket on their rig. This is our Vermeer SG40 stump grinder. It's been a really awesome grinder. I think it's not ideal for like massive stumps, although we use it for that. But if I was looking for only one machine that could kind of fit all the rolls, this would probably be it. It's only 36 inches, so it fits great on our trailer with a 42-inch mini skid. So these are the Bigfoot ramps. There's several versions like them. Pretty sick. You can open them up, throw down. You never have an issue getting on or off, even if it's muddy or wet. You can also attach these so they're sitting at a 90-degree angle if you needed more deck space. We don't ever do that, but it is an option. This is our MT100. So this machine is 3 years old. We bought this new. And we actually bought a brand new MT120 last year. And on our crew, we keep this one because we prefer it to the MT120. It's not as fast, it's not as sexy, but it's just a dog. It just always runs. And it's equipped with the Vermeer ULG42 log grapple. So of all the grapples on the market, this is my favorite, and it's not even close. So we have two of the same grapples, one for each machine. This one's great because you can have it fixed in any direction. So it's got 5 different points. There's a little lever right here. You can swap it. You can see this head will rotate. Right now it's down, but put that however you want it, or you can have it on free spin. So if you want to pull things through and load the chipper with ease, you can do that, but you can have it locked at any one time if you're squeezing through a tight gate or running along siding. This is just in our opinion, the best combination of robustness, strength, and maneuverability. So we love it. It's worth like the $4,600 price tag. Make sure any mini skid you get, guys, get the upweight kit, especially if you're picking up logs, and get wide track. So these are the 10-inch tracks as opposed to the 6-inch track. Major difference. This machine here, let's check it hour-wise. Yeah, so we have 1,200 hours on this machine, 1,250 hours. So we're putting almost 500 hours a year on them. And this thing's only missed a few days of work. And it was the same issue twice, and that was a drive belt that we installed incorrectly. But guys, been an amazing machine. It is kind of hard to work on. Everything's tight. In this machine, it's hard to get at everything, but nothing's really broken. So we've been pretty excited with this machine, but that is our everyday crew loadout for crew 1. Crew 2, similar rig, just without a stump grinder, and their kit is slightly different, tailored to more of the pruning and small removals. But yeah, that's what we were using at Rooted Arbor Care. Take a look around if there's anything else you have questions about in the future, whether it's our Bandit 15 XP all gas chipper, which we can have a whole nother topic about that, but we love that machine. Bucket trucks, chip trucks, we got other chip trucks down there that we use. Yeah, and this is the new shop in Wentzville, Missouri. If there's anything you see in any of our videos that you want us to take a deeper dive into, drop us a comment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll do our best to get that content out.